Hello and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, strategies, and the insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by Ricky Black of Alatus Solutions. How's it going, Ricky?
It's going great, Shib. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you here. And Ricky, I would love to just start this off by learning a little bit more about your background and learning a little bit more about Lattice.
Sure. So my background is really a fun and meandering one. I originally went to school with the intention of becoming an architect. Got to do a little bit of work in the field and advance towards that. And along the way, I ended up finding myself in the world of sales and business operations and not quite the career I thought I'd have. And over the last 20 years, I've worked with a variety of different companies, everything from your blue chip sort of Fortune 100 companies fixing and solving problems to startups just trying to get their first round of funding and consulting wherever I could. And then about 7, 8 years ago, I ended up in the world of recruiting and job boards.
Hmm.
And that's where I've been since before I landed here with Alatus Solutions at Dental Post.
Wow.
And so like Lattice is an interesting story. We were originally five different companies and a small group of individuals who they're kind of investment group who work inside the medical world and several of them with dental specific. They realize there's just no sort of one-stop shop for a lot of solutions for most of these like independent offices. And so
Mhm.
they found all five of us different companies and brought us all together under the Alatus brand. So that way we could become the place for dental offices to service all their different needs that are,
Wow.
unique for the dental world.
Yeah. And first of all, interesting story. I would think that people that recruiting, sales, marketing, the background stories are always so interesting because you just fall into it. You hear that all the
Right.
time. It's not
Yep.
like doctors or dentists who are like, they don't just fall into it. They like studied for so long.
Yeah.
That's how I found myself in doing what I do as well. And you mentioned that dental offices have some unique challenges so what are some of those unique challenges that general job boards like fail to address?
Sure. One of the things that happens in the typical job post and recruiting world is you actually have to deal with filtering down jobs and applications, right? For instance, I had a job that I had to post internally here because we're growing and we're expanding. And of course, I don't use our board because we're not a dental office. And within a week, I had over 200 applications. So I've got to filter through those to find the best of the best, which is a great champagne problem to have because in the end, you're not trying to make a good decision. You're trying to make the best decision for hiring,
Yeah.
right? In the dental world, though, it's completely the opposite. I'll give you an example. Everybody's looking for dental hygienists these days. And there's about 220,000 jobs for dental hygienists in the US that's open and filled chairs. There's only 189,000 dental hygienists. So you're talking about a
Wow.
30,000 shortfall before you even begin hiring. As you can
Yeah.
imagine, they're in massive demand. So the normal sort of posting and sourcing strategies just aren't going to work, right? And they went to school feeding off that sales theme. To this day, because I've used job boards in the past, I still get emails that are like, hey, near you in Mesa, Arizona, there's a sales call center opening and you'd make a fantastic frontline sales rep. They're not wrong. I'd be amazing at it, but it's not really barking up the right tree, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that if you're a dental professional and you went to school for this, you outcompeted to get into the schools, now you're in super high demand, and you have these job boards who are designed for those sort of ONET tier 1, 2, 3, low skill, no skill, entry level, limited skill jobs. And this is what they're presenting you with. It's not that anything they present you with would be wrong. You could do it, it's just not in your field. And
Yeah.
so our board is able to really connect dental professionals with dental offices. That's all we take, it's all we do. And we're able to meet them on all their specific skills, background, licensing, continuing education. We even have tools to help make sure that people are a good fit for the culture and environment in the office, which is
Yeah.
absolutely critical. It's one of the number one reasons why dental professionals leave the offices they're with. Lots
Wow.
of tools to get them connected in the right way.
Yeah. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking like this must be an interesting challenge when it comes to marketing because you're
Yeah.
trying to reach out to professionals themselves that might be looking for jobs. And then you're also reaching out to dental offices that might want to use your platform to do that.
It's really a two-sided equation. I joke about it. I said most business is easy because once you have a product, you just have to find someone to produce it. Better
Yeah.
yet, if you're SaaS oriented, you just got to let people download it or use it, right?
Yeah.
We have to source both our product and our audience, right? The
Yeah.
market that we're going after. You can't just print out more or produce more than one or the other. So yeah, it is a two-sided marketing equation that we have to work with, one towards the employers and one towards the talent, if you will.
Yeah. And how do you guys address that?
With great intention and a lot of thought. Honestly, the side looking for the employers is easier. They have so much need and demand, right? We
Yeah.
all we really need to do is let them out there. We've been around for 21 years now. So a lot of the offices know about us. They're familiar with us. So getting the employers to come to us is the easier part. It's your standard marketing that you'd expect.
Mm.
But for the job seekers, they're getting inundated from day one when they just enter
Yeah.
school.
Nice.
So we actually employ four wonderful women who are all dental hygienists or anestheticians who work in the industry, who also do continuing education. They're teachers, they do the talk circuits. We call them our KOLs or key opinion leaders. They will actually go to the schools, and this is where it starts, and they will help the students understand what they need to do for their career. Because when you're in that high demand, you need to make some really interesting career decisions right out the gate. So we start with connecting with them from the very beginning inside of school. And outside of that, it's about community. Not everybody's looking for a job. So what keeps them connected to us in the meantime? And that's where we have things like our resources, like our continuing education seminars to connect them to different things. We work on different like skill assessments and other tools and other resources. Our newsletters, we try to make sure are valuable enough that when we put them out, they're not like, oh, it's another junk email. This is valuable for my career. It's something I want to read for the news. That keeps them connected. So that way, when they're ready to look for their next job, they're already here.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great way to address it too. It's just to get people more interested in becoming hygienists, for example, because there's such a shortage.
Yeah. That's another problem too, is that the schools are incredibly expensive to run. They take up a lot of space. Think about all the equipment in your dental hygienist office, right? Like you can train another programmer, another developer by just they don't even have to be in class. They can be remote and just working off their laptop. But you need all that space and all that equipment to train. So there's only I think like 75 dental schools, and there's now like 369 that have hygiene programs out there. And they only take sometimes only 10 to 20 people every time they start
Gosh,
up a new class. I joke
wow.
that it's easier to get into an Ivy League school than it is to get into school to be a
Yeah.
hygienist.
Yeah, wow, I
So
never knew that. That's pretty intense.
yeah, so that's another double-sided problem when it comes to the shortage. There's a 30,000 shortage. The
Mhm.
Bureau of Labor Statistics says that need is going to increase by 10,000 a year, but they're only graduating like 7,000 dental hygienists every single year. So it's a
And
problem that's only going to be growing.
and is that more of the cost thing that you're mentioning for schools? The more expensive it is, the more students you have?
Yeah, it really is. It's just there's an expense that's afforded to it, and they have to make certain decisions. And it's not often that I hear about a school that is expanding their programs. More often, and schools are starting to shrink or limit their programs
Mm.
as they're making decisions about what some of their budgets and what they're going to do with things. How do they get more students through to get their educations? And sometimes those are the cuts that get made.
Wow, man. Beyond just filling vacancies, what strategies should dental practices use to build long-term hiring pipelines and reduce turnover?
Those are excellent questions. And it's one thing that we actually, weirdly enough, as a job board, you think we want them to lose people to have to post more. No, we actually work with them a lot and we'll counsel them on how to do exactly that. How do you build a pipeline? How do you retain people? And I'll
Mhm.
say this, the first thing is making sure that the people you're hiring are a good culture fit. You can have great people who just don't fit in the office. I think most of us have had that job where it was a great job. I'm good at my job. It just wasn't the right fit for the people I was working with, whatever. That can go a long way. The other thing is, and this is hard, is understanding what the compensation elements are out there. The biggest mistake I see dental offices making is they'll have dental hygienists on staff, and then they see that just the cost to hire is going up. So they'll bring someone brand new out of school and they'll start paying them more and giving them more benefits than the tenured experienced people that they've had in their office. And they're just hoping that nobody finds out. And so I often tell people, make sure that you're taking care of all the people in your office right now. You may have a seat that you really need to get filled, but like it's not going to do you any good to then empty out another seat of an experienced tenured person.
Yeah.
Start figuring out how to better manage your client lists and your company office finances to keep the people there that you have, and then and only then start to expand. And there's a lot of things that you can do. We have resources on our site for that, where you can come and take those tests for culture fit, for personality profiles, so you can learn how to engage with people better. And those are those first steps. As far as creating a roster goes, again, with normal recruiting, you can start out and just say, look, I need to fill the spot, post a job. And by the end of the week, you're already doing round 3 interviews. The average time to hire, and this is if you're in like a good metro area for a dental hygienist, is 60 days. And I know offices that have been looking for 6 months to a year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And the average office, the average amount per day of revenue that an office is losing when that chair sits empty is $2,500 a day. It goes up to about $4,600 a day for like the top 10% earners. It's
Yeah.
expensive to have that empty chair sitting there. So when your dental hygienist says, hey, I'm moving across the country for whatever, right, and puts in their 2 week notice, that is not the time to start looking,
Ooh.
right? You have to be very proactive with it. I often tell people that how you would network in your career, you almost need to network for your potential employees. So we tell people all the time, keep job posts up, right? Collect resumes. So when the time comes, you have people to call on. There's an amazing amount of hygienists who like to do temporary work. So you use those resumes to say, hey, I had a dental hygienist who had to call out sick today. They got the flu. Are you available to come in and cover their chair for the day? Now you have a resource to fill in those empty chairs.
Uh,
And it's a great way of building relationships and building a roster of people who, should a chair come permanently available, you can then reach out to and say, we already work great together. You already know the team. Do you want to make it permanent? So be proactive with it as much as you
yeah.
possibly can.
Wow. It's a really smart idea, actually. It's just keeping something open at all times, keeping open loops all the time. And it's really interesting because dentists go to dental school and they learn and they become experts at one specific thing. And then you go
Yeah.
into practice and you have to learn all of these other things, hiring and maintaining company culture and
Yep.
like managing finances. Those are all skills you have to learn. And it's like trial by fire a lot of times. And I can see where the benefit is for having access to a company like yours. So, Ricky, thank you so much. I've learned a lot. Where can people learn more about you and where can people learn more about Alatus?
About me, you can always find me, Ricky Black. I'm the one with the beard on LinkedIn. If you want to connect, reach out, chat more, I'm always available there. You can also email me directly at ricky.black@alatussolutions.com. I'm more than happy to talk with people and to just network or learn more if we need to. As far as Alatus Solutions goes, alatussolutions.com, but really just come to dentalpost.com and you can start digging through the resources there. We've got a bunch of stuff that people can read about and learn, and we're more than happy to help people out. We're also at most major conferences, so always look for our booth, and it's filled with people who are happy to talk shop and just to trade best ideas and practices.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for being on.